Welcome back, Truck Sim fans. Load up your favourite map mod profile and then let's have a look at DSL map. This is a standalone map, but it's still based on Euro Truck Simulator 2. So, here's my truck. There is only one dealership in this map, and it is a Volvo dealership. Here you can see part of the map, and the dealership is in the corner there. This map is quite small, but crucially it's unfinished. There are bits and pieces all over the place, as you can see, tiny spots and pieces, and there's a section, which I've driven all of it, to one side of ferry ride away. These little pieces that you can see, the tiny orphaned sections of roads, have an unusual connection with some parts of the map, but anyway, for this video we will just be concentrating on the main section, as it were, the bit that's over on the right. So let's see what jobs we have in this map. Well, at the moment I'm in this town, Oton, so I will look for jobs there. Now there are only a few, but I will take this one, a tanker job. I've already driven to the company where this is at, in fact, so we're going to see that I'm actually parked next to it. There it is. I still have to go around the corner and pick up the job officially, if you like, from the dispatching area. So here we go, round to the little green truck icon. Then tell it that we want to indeed select the job we've just picked. The one with the GPS sign on it is the one we have chosen. And I'm now going to reverse all the way back round again to pick up the trailer. This is probably one failing of the game in general. If you've selected a job, it might be that an improvement SCS could make is that the job is immediately available for you and you don't have to go into that little dispatch area. A little bit like they do on convoys. If you take a convoy, one of the people in your team, if you like, takes the job, you can then go along and collect the same job without having to stop at that initial point in the company area. Anyway, we're now hooked up. Let's go and see how short this drive actually is. Okay, so we're leaving the depot at the moment, and there aren't too many corners to do in this job actually, because it's basically straight ahead down there underneath this viaduct, whatever it is. The Volvo dealership, by the way, is down there. One feature of the DSL map is there are a lot of vehicles parked to the side, on the path, on the road, thereabouts. And these are obviously additional obstacles. Then there are also a lot of people as well. And a little bit later on you may see some cyclists. I'll get this piece over with quickly. I don't want to bore you with going into Tramieri. We know it's a tight turn. So once we're through this door, I'll speed the video up and we'll see how we're going to turn around again. I'm avoiding that little drop-off icon at the moment because I want to do a turn before I even select it. So here we go, back to the area. Now we drive over to say yes, we are going to be delivering this load. Click on it, pick the 90 pointer if it's available. Yeah, let's quickly get this bit out of the way as well. Reversing, repositioning and so on, and getting it lined up. You know the rules. You know, you can see how things are done. So let's just leave this on double or quadruple speed until we've got the thing parked. I want to show you another thing about the DSL map. When we've finished this load, I will show you the job list. Wow, it's full. No, it's not. This is quite often the problem. This being an unfinished map, and it's not likely to be ever finished, there are some difficulties in finding contracts, finding jobs for you to do. Let's have another look at the map though, because there must be other jobs around the place. But as it happens, on this town there are only 2 jobs. So what do we do? Well, one of the things you can do is take a look around the other areas, other parts of the towns. And one of the things I do when I get one of these maps is I always run a little profile booster and get enough of the map done to buy all the garages in the map and buy my first truck. Get a little bit of funding behind me and then leave it. Remove the booster. That's what they're there for. They're there to boost, not to continually give you more and more and more. That spoils the game a little bit too much, doesn't it? Anyway, as you can see on this map, there are quite a few bits and pieces of unfinished or undriven roads that go apparently nowhere, or very few places. As you can see in this town, or this, whatever we're going to call it, there's only one industry, but there was a garage that I've already bought. Down here, there's another town that is unmapped. There's my other garage in the top corner there. Not yet been to that place, anyway. So what I'll do is I'll change cities. I'll quickly go to Meme by using the quick travel. Oh look, I've discovered it. Having landed at my garage, I've discovered the town. That's handy. Let's see what jobs are available here. So, you can't pick external contracts even though they are apparently offered. You have to go for the freight contracts. Let's just select the town that we're in. As you can see, there are two jobs, all from the same place to the same destination. I'm going to pick the double trailer though, because this place, this map, has got some very tight corners, narrow roads and a few things like that, and I think the challenge of a double trailer might be quite nice. So let's go and fetch this. Now, if I look at the map, if I bring the map up on the display there, you can see actually there's very little by way of routing. That's another problem with some of these map mods. However, I can see there's a road straight behind me out of my depot, and it's going to take me almost to the company where I can collect this trailer. So I'll just carefully back up this very narrow street, round the corner, and hopefully in front of me, I'm reversing obviously, I mean the other way, in front of the truck there will be, look, there's the company, and their double trailer is right there in front. As we approach this place, notice there's wooden ramps on the way up. Stop, collect the cargo, the job sheet if you like, and then quickly get the manoeuvring over with and get this cargo picked up. Now, here's something. My Volvo has got raised height ride on it because I put the off-road Michelins on it. There's another job I'll show you, another pickup I'll show you where that might have had a problem, but it wasn't too obvious from this collection. But I'll mention it again later on. However, this being a double, remember those ramps on the way in to the depot? I need to make sure that the trailer lines up with those. Now, this little street down here has got a few hitboxes that don't quite line up with the buildings. So the idea would be to get as far to the middle as you can and move the trailer across away from the buildings. So here we go. As you can see in the mirror there, the trailer mostly went down those ramps. The back part did, certainly the second unit. Now we're going to go right here. There's a railway. Now, I know in this map that none of the trains actually run, or trams, or whatever might be on there, in this particular section. So what I'm going to do, because that's a bit too narrow, is I'm going to drive along the train tracks. Why not? Use space. Anyway, the other reason I'm doing this is because if you can see on the sat-nav, the display, I've got to make a turn up here. And I know that if I was actually on the other section of the road, beyond the white bollards, this would be quite a tight turn. As it is, I've just got to contend with driving over the train tracks. There's another section of this map actually where one of the accesses to one of the businesses, you have to drive quite some distance along a train track. The tip about that, if you ever have to do it in this game, is put one set of wheels in between the tracks and one with the other set on the outside of the tracks. Here's the junction at the other end. It's a bit more of a turn to make, but there's nothing coming. There are cars in this map that do drive around, but we'll see a few of them later on. So we're going to go down here. We're going to take a left-hand turn past this. What is it? Bus station. pub, whatever there might be there. There's a dead end ahead. Another thing of this game is that sometimes, quite often actually, you can go down to one of those dead end signs where the road markers are to say don't proceed any further, and they appear a split second before you hit them. So if it says it's a dead end, you're probably going to come across one of those. Now if I take the normal way around the roundabout in this particular case, it's quite tricky because of the roadworks, the van that was parked on the roundabout itself, and the roadworks that are taking place on the way in. However, it's not too difficult to manoeuvre around. Here we are at the destination. It's quite a short trip. We're going to pick the hardest available option for the double trailers. Now, for those of you who've played in the main game before and have delivered double trailers, you know that there is very rarely a higher one than medium, if you like. There's an easy one, there's a medium one, and there's very rarely a hard one. If you noticed on the delivery board, the option there, the hard delivery was priced at 170 XP, where it's normally about 90. So see what you might think about that. Anyway, here we go. Take the road nice and wide near the wall, then pull across, and hopefully it lines up as it just did. Well, that's the first job. So, what else is on offer? Well, nothing from this company. So we'll have to go back, and I think I'll take the other trailer from the other company. In this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the teleport feature. There are plenty of advisories that are out there that tell you how to use the teleport feature. This used to be the way in which you would get camera shots, for example, before the camera tool became available. As you can see, the depot, they were pretty much next to each other, so it's only a short trip over. Control F9 and your truck will appear. Be very careful that you don't drop it too far. You have to get quite close to the ground. I'm going to take this job that I've selected. It's to the same place, but I'm going to show you a different route. The routes around here are all very narrow, but there are some that are easier. Remember that thing about the raised height, the raised ride height, because I've got slightly chunkier tyres? Well, here's what we're going to see while the short job music plays. Look at the mud guards on top of the wheels as I drive underneath the trailer. Here we go. Watch what happens. Oh, it clips into them. Did you not see that? Well, I'll come back out again and show you again. Look at the mud guards. They actually collide with the bottom of the trailer. That's because the truck is lifted. Slight problem again, but hopefully nothing of any issue. There's no damage caused. The music playing in the background is the default short job music. This is where it's very close to delivery time. We're picking this up. We're already getting it from the depot. Anyway, we'll take that journey out again, the same small narrow road, over the two ramps, down very carefully to make sure that the back of the trailer goes down that and it doesn't get too close to the buildings. Somewhere around here, just where I am, there is that collision problem that I mentioned earlier. We're going to go around again. What I'll do this time is I will drive again on the train tracks, but I'm going to show you some of the reasons why in this particular map this might not be a good idea. The other side is actually two-way. You see the lane markers inside of it. It's very narrow. So actually driving on this side gives me more room to manoeuvre. However, as we go around here, I'm going to ignore that sharp turn that we went down before. I'm going to go around the top. We're going to take another route around to that point where we were at before with the junction with the bus stop, the cafe and whatnot. Around here, notice that those white bollards go all the way across that junction, so actually this is not a good lane to be in, especially if there was a train coming, but equally if you were going to go left there. Past the church, the bus station on the other side, and we're back at the end of that road where we drove before. Some way the train goes off in that direction. I often wonder where that might end up, if that's a possible drivable alternative. In fact, I know where it ends up, because it ends up crossing the road just a bit further around the corner. However, here what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go up there. I'm going to do a U-turn, get quite close to this dead end, the start point anyway, not close enough to trigger any road closed signs, the glowing orange crosses. But one of the other things that I don't like doing is leaving roads undriven. It's just a bit of a thing. I like maps. I like to finish them. So if I can drive a route which will recolour as many bits of the road as possible from being grey to orange or undriven to driven, then I will do it. This actually though will make the last part of the journey a lot more easy. So as we follow ourselves back to the junction where the bollards blocked the left hand turn, it's now a right hand turn, we're free to take it. And as we go around the corner you see that there are other vehicles in the game. Something coming from down that hill, but that hill isn't marked on our sat nav. I'll investigate that in another video. So here we go, around the right. Those of you who might have noticed before, this road is now going to be taking us to the depot straight across the roundabout where the van was blocking the other direction. It makes it a bit easier. There's another road to the left here. This is the one which goes, on the overview map, it goes quite a long way south to a town that has nothing really much there. But it's named, so was that part of the developer's plans? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to make this even easier on this roundabout. I'm going to take it the British way round and not the European way round, so I will straighten as many journey bumps and curves as possible, going into the depot, the same depot as we were at before. Again, very limited amount of choice. You've got two companies basically in this town, on this part of the map, which tend to deliver to each other. There's very few jobs that go between towns. There are some. Again, I'll pick the 90 points. Why not? Because this depot, I assume, was going to be filled with more traffic like the other one was. Parked vehicles and so on. This difficult parking job is not actually that difficult. You've got plenty of room to manoeuvre, unlike quite a few places on the rest of this map. So it should be reasonably easy to park the truck. Another thing I like doing is just leaning out of the window, using the mirrors, using the direct view backwards, rather than hitting the number 2 key and going for the chase camera view. Sometimes that's necessary, but I like to be able to just see if we can park it, like in real life, leaning out and watching where we're going. Anyway, gently does it. Here we go, back into the parking bay, and we're going to leave that job just there. Music will finish, the default in-game music. Some of those roads that we saw were not marked. We'll drive in another video, but for now, thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you soon.